Uh, Students, good afternoon to everybody. In last lecture, I have discussed with you that the kinetic theory of gas and what is the kinetic theory equation. So kinetic theory equation is represented by the equation PV is equal to 1 upon 3 mn V square. What is P? P is the pressure of a gas. V is the volume of gas. 1 upon 3 is a constant. M is the mass of gas molecule. N is the total number of gas molecule present in that cubical shaped cylinder or cube, and V square is the velocity of gas molecule. This equation comes from the different types of applying different types of equation of force as well as pressure as well as time dependence, how velocity is there. And finally, we are getting the equation PV is equal to 1 upon 3 m and V square. So this is already we have discussed in yesterday's period. Now we are going to discuss about the deduction of gas laws. You know, friends, Boyle's law, Charles laws, Avogadro's laws, these are the laws which are much closely or related with the gaseous state. So one by one, we will discuss how these laws are much closely related or how they are interconnected, interrelated with the kinetic theory of gases. So first of all, I will discuss with you regarding the Boyle's law. You know, friends, you have already studied in 11th class that what is meant by Boyle's law. You know, under a constant temperature, when a pressure on a gas increases, the volume of a gas decreases. In other words, we can say that volume is inversely proportional to the pressure when the temperature kept constant as well as the number of molecules are also constant. Means at a constant temperature and constant number of molecules, volume of a gas is inversely proportional to the pressure of the gas applied. Now we will move to the kinetic energy. Means what? The kinetic energy of n gas molecules are already you have studied that kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 m and u square. Now we know that this is a kinetic gas equation which is directly proportional to the temperature. In the postulates of the kinetic theory of gases, we have studied that the kinetic energy of gas molecule is directly proportional to the temperature. Means if you increase the temperature, kinetic energy of the gas molecule is increases. If you decrease the temperature, kinetic energy of the gas molecule will be decreases. So kinetic energy is directly proportional to the temperature. Can I write this 1/2 mn square is nothing but kinetic energy. So 1/2 mn square is directly proportional to the temperature of the gas molecule. If you increase the T, that is temperature, kinetic energy, that is 1/2 mn square will be increases, or value of 1 upon 2 mn square will be increases. So let us see how the equation will be becomes 1/2 mn square is equal to K into T. What I have taken, K is nothing but a proportionality constant I have taken, because as temperature increases, kinetic energy increases, means these two factors are proportional to each other. Then proportionality factor K may be represented as 1/2 mn square is equal to K into T. This is equation number 1, where we are putting here K, that is K is the proportionality constant. Now, if we rewrite that kinetic equation, gas equation, we can get here. Now, kinetic gas equation is 2 upon 3 mnu square. So here in mnu square, u square is the velocity. That mnu square can be represented by 1/2 mnu square. This is the equation comes from this equation number 1. When PV is equal to 2 upon 3, that will becomes here. Therefore, what about PV? PV is equal to 2 upon 3 KT. Why I'm writing here KT? KT, mnu square is nothing but a value of KT. That's why I'm putting here 1 upon 3 KT, that is equation number 2. Now, therefore, what happens? This is a PV is equal to constant. If this is a PV is equal to constant, 2 upon 3 is equal to KT, that is equation number 2. Now, this is called as representation of Boyle's law. How this Boyle's law is applied to the kinetic gas equation. Now, can I move to next law, that is Charles law? What is Charles law? According to the Charles law, the volume of a gas molecule is directly proportional to the temperature. If you increase the temperature, volume of a gas will be increases. If you decrease the temperature of the gas molecule, volume of a gas molecule will be automatically decreases. Means volume and temperature, they are dependent upon each other. If one of the factor increases, another factor also increases. So they are directly proportional to each other. Just in short, I have written here V is directly proportional to the A. So next, alternatively, what he has represented here, just I am showing what he has represented. Alternatively, we can write this Charles law in another word. At a constant volume, pressure is directly proportional to the temperature, because at constant volume, pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. If you increase the temperature, automatically pressure will be increases. If you decrease the temperature of a gas molecule, pressure will be, yes, decreases. Means pressure is directly proportional to the temperature when the constant volume of gas is there. So if we rearrange the equation 2, already we have studied in before slide, that is equation number 2. What we get? We get PV is equal to 2 upon 3 K2. KT is the equation number 2. I am rewriting here again. PV is equal to 2 upon 3 KT. Therefore, what about V? V is equal to 2 upon 3 K PT. What I have here converted here, only I have written this P at the right side of the equation. P I have written here at the right side of the equation. It will be goes in the denominator. That is V is equal to 2 upon 3 K that divided by P into T. Now at constant pressure, V is equal to K into T. What is K? K is equal to 2 upon 3 Kp. Instead of writing 2 upon 3 Kp, I have written directly K. K dash, you can call it as a K dash. What is K dash? K dash is a proportionality constant again. Therefore, here, if K dash is a proportionality constant, then the value of V and T, they are directly proportional to each other. Therefore, volume of a gas molecule is directly proportional to the temperature of a gas molecule. So V is directly proportional to T, that is called as a representation of Charles law. Now we will move to next hypothesis, that is Avogadro's hypothesis. According to Avogadro's hypothesis, when equal volume of gases at the same temperature and pressure, they are containing same number of molecules. Suppose friends, one of the gas molecules, suppose X, another gas molecule is Y, both are having equal volumes and equal temperature and equal pressure. What I am saying that if two gases are there, these two gases are having same temperature and same pressure, then number of gas molecules are same. Number of gas molecules are same. For example, X is a gas molecule, one gas molecule, Y is another gas molecule. If they are containing same temperature and same pressure, then the total number of X gas molecule and total number of Y gas molecule both are in same in number. That is called as a Avogadro's hypothesis. Now let us consider, for example, two different gases. I explain here X and Y. Instead of X and Y, if I take 1 and 2, the kinetic gas equation in the form of kinetic gas equation, I have written here P1 is the pressure of gas number 1. V1 is the volume of gas number 1, which is equal to 1 upon 3. M1 is the mass of gas 1. N1 is the number of gas molecules of 1. U1 is the velocity of gas molecule of gas number 1. So this is, I represented this kinetic gas equation. This is represented in the form of kinetic gas equation. So why am suffix 1 is written, this is for gas number 1. So similarly, we can write here the same equation for gas number 2, that is P2 V2 is equal to 1 upon 3 M2 U2 N2 U2 square. This is the equation number 4, and another is equation number 5. And this P2 V2 or whatever it may be, the kinetic gas equation I am representing here at a constant temperature. What happens at constant temperature? This P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 at constant temperature. You know that according to Avogadro's hypothesis, what happens here at same temperature and same pressure, at constant temperature, what happens? The number of molecules are same. So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Let us we move to next slide here. Therefore, now 1 upon 3 M1 N1 U1 square is equal to 1 upon 3 M2 N2 U2 square. Now what it indicate? Yes, both are in equal volume and equal pressure. That's why I have written this equation number 5 into 6. Now, if these two gases are both are having same temperature, so the kinetic energy of the molecule is same. If temperature is same, no doubt the kinetic energy of both the gases 1 and 2 are same. Means what happens? 1 upon 3 m1 u1 square is equal to 1 upon 3 m2 u2 square. Means masses are same, then kinetic energy of both molecules are same. 1 upon 3 m1 u1 square is equal to 1 upon 3 m2 u2 square. This is equation number 7. Now, if you substitute this equation into equation number 6, what happens? All the factors are cancelled, but only what remains? Only n1 is equal to n2 is remain in this equation number 6. If you consider equation number 6 and 7, what we get? n1 is equal to n2. Now, what is there? What it indicate? Number of gas molecules of gas number 1 and number of gas molecules of gas number 2 are having equal number of molecules are present. When they are present? When they are having, yes, same temperature, same pressure, then number of gas molecules of both the gases are same. That is n1 is equal to n2. Now, hence Avogadro's law has been deduced here. Now, friend, just we move another law, very important law for the gaseous state, that is Graham's law of diffusion. Graham's law of diffusion, because each and every gas will be diffused at certain temperature. Rate of diffusion is dependent upon various factors. Various factors are there. Now, these various factors are either it may be molecular weight, either it may be density, either it may be temperature, but diffusion of gases are certain there, and these are dependent upon its physical property. So what Graham's have been suggested here, Graham's suggested that at a constant temperature and pressure, what is constant? Temperature is constant and pressure is constant. Rate of diffusion for various gases is inversely proportional to the square root of their densities or square root of their molecular weight. Yes, what I am representing, again I am repeating the same. At constant temperature and pressure, rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of their densities or square root of their molecular weights. I have represented here rate of diffusion. For example, rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of their densities. Rho2 and Rho1 are the densities of two different gases, as well as M2 and M1 are the, yes, molecular weights of two different gases. Means the rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of their densities as well as square root of their molecular weights. Now, this is called as a Graham's law of diffusion. Now, if you consider equation number 6 here, I am rewritten here 1 upon 3 m1 n1 u square is equal to 1 upon 3 m2 n2 u square. This is equation number 6. Now, what happens? U1 square divided by u2 square, I have written here, is equal to n2 m2 divided by n1 m1. If n1 is equal to n2, we are already studied in that is here before this Avogadro's hypothesis, n1 is equal to n2. If n1 is equal to n2, then it will be considered as a capital N. Then what happens if u1 square divided by u2 square, which is equal to nm2 that divided by nm1, which is equal to m2 and m1. What is m2 and m1? Masses or molecular, so not masses, molecular weights of the gas number 2 and gas number 1. We know that density is nothing but mass divided by volume. That is, mass divided by volume is called as a D, or a density. Density is nothing but mass to volume ratio. That is called as a density. Here m1 divided by V is a density of gas number 1 denoted by the D1. Similarly, we can write m2 divided by V is the density for the gas number 2. Now, what will happen if you consider this m1 by V is equal to D1 and m2 that divided by V is equal to D2, then the equation number this 6 becomes U1 divided by U1 square that divided by U2 square is equal to D1 that divided by D2, because M2 is equal to D1 and sorry, M2 is equal to D2 and M1 divided by M2 is called as a D2. Now, this will be rewriting this equation U1 square that divided by U2 square is equal to D1 that divided by D2. Means ratio of velocity of gases 1 and 2 is equal to the densities of both the gases. D1 and D2 are the densities of two gases. They are equal. Now, we are moving to next point, that's deviation from ideal behavior. Now, some of the gases are called as ideal, some of the gases called as a real gases. Now, what is meant by real and gases, and what is meant by ideal gases, and why or how the ideal behavior is deviated by the gas molecule. Now, ideal gas obeys the gas laws for all the values of pressure and temperature. In reality, all gases obeys gas laws only over a range of pressure and temperature, and not for all the values of pressure and temperature. Hence, real gases can be described in terms of deviation from these gas laws. Now, what is meant by ideal gas laws? If they obeys all the values of pressure and temperature, there are certain values of pressure and temperature at which the gas obeys ideal gas law, ideality. But if we increase or decrease certain temperature or certain pressure, all the gases does not obeys the ideal behavior. So they will be, yes, not obeying the ideal gas rule. Means if you apply a certain range of pressure and temperature, all gases are not, yes, maintaining the yes, ideal gas law, but they are called as a real gas. Hence, these real gases can be described in terms of deviation of gas laws. If gas laws or ideal gas laws is deviated by this certain gas molecule, that gases are called as a real gases. Now, just we will see what is meant by how they are deviated from the Boyle's law. If you plot, friends, if you plot the graph of product of pressure and volume against P, means if you take product P into V on y-axis, PV on y-axis, and P on x-axis, the straight line parallel to the x-axis will be obtained. This will be for the ideal gas. If straight line obtained parallel to the x-axis, if we plot PV versus P, then such type of gases are called as ideal gas. Now, this indicates that for an ideal gas, PV should be remains constant at constant temperature. Means we are applying here pressure is, we are varying the pressure, but pressure into volume multiplication or product of P into V is always constant at a constant temperature. This will be true for the ideal gases. But for the real gases, such a straight line will not be obtained. For example, the gases like hydrogen, nitrogen shows positive deviation for these gases, in which product of pressure and volume increases with increase in the pressure. But vice versa, there are some gases like methane, carbon dioxide, which shows the product P into V is found to be decreases. Small deviation from the Boyle's law are observed only to the low pressure. Just I am showing to you, friends, here how the deviation of ideal gas law. If we plot P into V on y-axis and product P on x-axis, now what about the real gas? If you plot the graph for PV against P for the ideal gas, it will be obtained the straight line. I'm showing here. Now, what it indicate? The PV, the value of PV is constant here, not changing here throughout all the gases here. Now, this indicates if a parallel line to the x-axis or to the pressure axis, pressure I am shown here on x-axis, if straight line parallel to the x-axis is obtained, this indicates the nature of gas is ideal, or this is true for the ideal gases. Now, there are certain gases like hydrogen, like helium, methane, or carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So they will be deviates the ideal gas law, ideal behavior. Now, friends, for example, if you take about the methane, now here the line comes at the downward side, again it will becomes to the upward side. Now, as it comes downward side, means CH4 shows negative deviation from the ideal behavior. Now, what about this carbon monoxide? Now, it will also show negative deviation from the ideal behavior, but there is a small negative deviation is observed in the carbon monoxide, but there is a large negative deviation is obtained in case of CH4 or methane molecule. Now, here if you consider hydrogen and helium molecule, there is a positive deviation of this real gas from the ideal behavior. Means that these hydrogen and helium gases or CH4CO are called as the real gases. They are not obeying the ideal gas laws or ideal gas line. And that's why the positive deviation we are obtaining for the hydrogen as well as positive deviation is obtaining for the helium gas. So this picture indicates how the gas are showing the ideal behavior and how which type of gas molecules showing the real gas nature and how they are deviated from the ideality or ideal gas equation. Now, next point from your syllabus is deviation from the Charles law. Friends, for a given amount of gas at constant pressure, the volume of a gas increases or it may be decreases sometime by 1 upon 273 times its volume at 0 degree centigrade for every degree rise of fall in temperature. That is 1 upon 273, or it is called as a 0.003661 is the temperature coefficient of the gas. And this remains same for all the gases for all range of pressure as well as temperature. Means for all range of pressure and temperature, the gas increase or decrease its volume by 1 upon 273 at 0 degree centigrade for every degree rise fall in the temperature. So this will be same for all the gases for all range of pressure as well as temperature. Now this rise of fall in temperature but by 1 upon 273 times is called as deviation from the Charles law. Deviation from the Charles law. So this is very nicely explained here by Charles, how they are deviated by applying certain pressure and temperature. Can I stop here? Hello?